We're at the Arabia, and we want to talk about why it's important to be here to understand. This ship sunk in 1856. This is the same year that there were 5 handcart companies that left for Utah. And so sometimes we have this idea that pioneers were only poor, broke, penniless people with no sophistication. And this is a good example of what they came with. And you look through here and there are dozens of things like doorknobs and keys and hinges and tools and boots and perfume and all kinds of things. And it's important to recognize that the people that came west were sophisticated. They were very competent, industrious people. This is 10 years after the pioneer migration started. So there were already many people in the Salt Lake Valley. The Trek people just happened to be those people that were just trying to get there. But there were already, this sophistication already existed. So
and
they
this was
were coming
important to them.
Yes, very much. They left a lot of this behind. And so they were poor because they were willing to walk away. And now they're going to go to Utah and they're industrious. They're going to work hard, and it won't be very long at all until they're buying this material and they're building their houses and they're making them nice. And right over here, you can kind of get a glimpse into what a house might have looked like. And there's a lot of really cool stuff there. It was not, let's just kind of like slam a door up against the cold wind. They had some nice places.
Yes. And that is one thing I want to emphasize is why it's important to understand why they were gathering, because too often we forget the reason why they were gathering is because the concept of actually a physical gathering is very critical. We talk a lot on this tour about Noah and the flood. Well, there's a quote from Joseph F. Smith where he says, you know, Noah in his day was saved by building an ark. God told him to build an ark. That was his preservation. What is the ark in our day? Are we supposed to go build boats? Are we supposed to move to another country? What is our ark? And he said that it's a doctrine that's just as fundamental as all the other doctrines in the gospel. And that is the doctrine of gathering. That is our ark. So when Joseph Smith was calling the saints and they're leaving everything behind and emigrating to America to build Zion in America, they were literally fulfilling prophecy. They were literally Israel. They were literally gathering, and that's something that we cannot lose the importance of. We don't talk about it a lot, but if you go study what the prophets have taught, it's very important, and we need to understand that.
It's also important to recognize that they were coming not to just be poor people out there, but they were going to rebuild their whole society. So they were building the manufacturers to make these things. They might have brought them for now, but they were building plants to make tools. They were building glass companies. They were building sugar beet plants. They were doing these things. They were not going to always be buying from outside.
Absolutely.
They intended to build the whole community, literally build the city of Zion, self-contained city of Zion.
Yes, that was so critical to Brigham Young and Joseph Smith. They said Zion needed to be completely independent. We needed to not outsource anything to Babylon. That's what they call just being reliant on the economic system outside. Because, and we can kind of see this today with recent events, even with the censoring of free speech on the internet, and people start freaking out and they want to create alternatives, and they can't because they're entirely reliant on credit card companies and banks and servers and web hosts that are all owned, and they've outsourced everything. And so that is why this message is important today, because we need to be thinking, okay, we need to be creating our own culture. We need to be gathering in our own homes. Start with your own home first. And when we do that, we need to do it refined. Be proud of being an Israelite. Be proud of being dignified. Be proud of beauty and recreating. I mean,
And here's an important part too, is because even though we're recreating this, we might think that, oh, we don't have to gather anymore, we don't have to be independent, but we do. But it's not to get off the grid. See, that's the false sense, to get off the grid and be alone. And we're not supposed to be off the grid. We're supposed to just create a grid. And our own independent people. And it starts with us individually as families. And then it starts with friends that we work together with common causes. And we grow that one by one by one. Take a moment to turn your heart and the hearts of your children back to their parents, to their fathers and mothers. Thank you, blessed pioneers.